You know, we throw the word quality around all the time, but what does it really mean? I'll tell you what it's not. It's not just some empty buzzword. It's a seriously powerful business strategy, a whole philosophy that can take a company from total chaos to complete control. So let's dive in.
So why all the fuss about this one little word? Well, because when we're talking about quality, we're not just talking about making shiny, nice things. We're talking about something fundamental, something with massive real-world consequences. Just take a look at the Ford Pinto. Back in the 70s, this car became absolutely infamous. Why? A critical design flaw. In a rear-end collision, the fuel tank could rupture and burst into flames. Ford's decision to put cost before safety, before quality, led to lawsuits, recalls, and a hit to its reputation that was just devastating. This is the kind of chaos we're talking about.
All right, so to get us from that chaos to control, here's our roadmap. We're going to cover the high cost of failure, figure out how to define good quality, meet the gurus who literally wrote the book on this stuff, look at their frameworks for improvement, and then tackle the gold standard, Six Sigma.
First up, let's follow the money. Because poor quality isn't just about bad PR. It has a direct and often really well-hidden impact on the bottom line. It's this financial drain that a lot of companies don't even realize is happening. So how do you even measure it? Well, the experts break it down into four main buckets, what they call the costs of quality. You've got prevention, appraisal, internal failure, and external failure. But as you're about to see, they are definitely not all created equal. Okay, so here's the story these costs tell. Prevention costs, that's your investment. Good design, solid training. Appraisal costs, that's just checking your work. Now, internal failures, like catching a bad part on the assembly line, that's costly, sure, but at least it's contained. But external failures, oh boy, that's when the problem gets out the door and into the customer's hands. That's recalls, that's lawsuits, that's your brand loyalty going up in smoke. That's the Ford Pinto. That is the cost you never, ever want to pay. So we know what bad quality costs us, but what does good quality even look like? It's really easy to just say, oh, I know it when I see it. But in the real world of business and engineering, you need something a lot more solid. And it turns out it's a surprisingly complex idea. Researchers have actually identified 8 key dimensions. It starts with the basics, right? Like performance. Does the thing actually do the job? But it goes way deeper into things like reliability. How often does it break down? Durability. How long is it going to last? And even aesthetics. How does it look and feel? All of these together create the total user experience. And the smartest companies out there use these dimensions to build their entire brand. Think about Dyson. They're absolute masters of performance, features, and aesthetics. Or think about Toyota. Their whole reputation is built on a foundation of reliability, durability, and conformance. They don't just make a car that works, they deliver on a very specific promise of quality, so you, the customer, know exactly what you're getting. Now, this way of thinking didn't just appear out of nowhere. It was pioneered by a handful of absolutely brilliant thinkers, the gurus who saw the future and gave us the roadmap we're still following today. First, you've got W. Edwards Deming. His insight was a total game changer. He said, quality isn't the worker's fault, it's a system problem. And get this, he claimed that a staggering 94% of all quality issues are actually management's responsibility. It's up to the leaders to design better systems. Then there's Joseph Juran. He's the one who really shifted the focus to the customer. He argued that it's not enough for a product to just match the blueprints. The real question is it fit for use? In other words, does it actually solve the customer's problem? His project-by-project approach helped companies zero in on their biggest quality headaches first. And finally, we have Philip Crosby, who made this incredibly bold statement. Quality is free. Now, what on earth did he mean by that? He argued that the money you spent on prevention, on getting things right the first time, is always less than the money you waste on inspections, fixing mistakes, and dealing with failures. Simply put, investing in quality actually pays for itself. Okay, so the gurus gave us the philosophy, the why, but how do you actually put it into practice? How do you make it real? That's where the frameworks come in, turning these big ideas into a daily routine. This right here is one of Deming's most famous contributions, the PDCA cycle. It's so simple but incredibly powerful. You plan an improvement. You do it, maybe on a small scale. You check the results to see if it worked, and then you act to make that change permanent. It's the engine of nonstop, iterative improvement.
Juran, on the other hand, gave us a more high-level strategic view called the Juran trilogy. It's got 3 parts: quality planning, so designing quality in from the very beginning; quality control, making sure your processes stay on track; and quality improvement, actively hunting down and fixing those chronic problems. It's a whole management system.
Now, what happens when you take all of these amazing ideas and push them to their absolute limit? Well, you get Six Sigma. It's a methodology that aims for a level of quality that is about as close to perfect as we can possibly get.
Six Sigma is all about the data. It's a super disciplined, statistical approach to systematically hunt down and eliminate the root causes of defects. And the goal? It's just mind-bogglingly ambitious. To have a process that is 99.9997% perfect. That means just 3.4 defects for every million opportunities.
And the engine that drives a Six Sigma project is this 5-step process called DMAIC. You define the problem from your customer's point of view. You measure how the process is doing right now. You analyze the data to find the true cause. You improve the process to fix it. And this part is crucial, you control the new process to make sure you don't slide backwards. I know what you might be thinking. Come on, 99% good sounds pretty great. Is it really worth all that effort for a few extra decimal points? Well, let me tell you, the difference between pretty great and near perfect is absolutely staggering. Just look at this. At 99% quality, which sounds fantastic, right? The Postal Service would lose 20,000 pieces of mail every single hour. At Six Sigma quality, that drops to just 7. At 99%, we'd have over 3,000 incorrect surgeries every week. At Six Sigma, just 1. And in air travel, the difference is 2 unsafe landings every day versus 1 unsafe landing every 5 years. That, right there, is the difference between good enough and a true commitment to quality.
The reality is, in so many parts of our lives, 99% just isn't acceptable. And that leaves us with one final question for you. As you go about your day, where is that gap between good enough and nearly perfect a matter of real, serious consequence? Where is the pursuit of perfection truly non-negotiable?